Welcome to Mission 6, Lesson 10, where our objective for this lesson is to use area models and the number line to compare decimal numbers and record comparisons using the less than, greater than, and equal symbols. So, in other words, what we're doing, it's similar to the previous lesson, which is we are just going to be given a couple decimals, and we need to compare them and be able to figure out which one of those is the greater one and which one is the less than one. So we're just going to go through, since this is pretty similar to the previous lesson, we're just going to go through today's tower together, right here and right now. We're going to start by comparing 42 hundredths and 3 tenths. So we have 42 hundredths and 3 tenths. So first we're going to shade the area models to represent the decimals. So here we're going to shade 42 hundredths. So I'm going to shade 10, 20, 30, 40, and then 41, 42. And now I'm going to shade, this is 3 tenths. So I'm just going to shade 10, 20, 30, because that's the same as 30 hundredths. And this is divided up into hundredths. Now we want to choose the correct symbol to complete each statement. So which was the greater one? And if we go back and look, we can see that, well, the 42 hundredths was more than the 3 tenths because more were shaded for the 42 hundredths. So which is greater? The 42 hundredths is greater. So I'm going to use this greater than symbol. Remember, I always think of it as like an alligator or a mouth or Pac-Man or whatever you want to choose. And it's going to eat, always going to eat, nom, 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 the bigger number. So here its mouth is going to eat, nom, 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 the bigger number. And then now it asks us to compare again. So again, here we had 42 hundredths and 30 hundredths. And now it says 3 tenths and 42 hundredths. Well, we just said that 3 tenths is the same as 30 hundredths. They're the same number, just written a different way. So 42 hundredths is still bigger. So I just need to make sure, no, that symbol is facing the 42 hundredths. So we can say 3 tenths is less than 42 hundredths. Keep on climbing. All right. Which number line correctly displays both decimals above? So we're trying to compare 3 and 6 tenths and 3 and 53 hundredths. So notice each number line starts at 3 and 50 hundredths, ends at 3 and 70 hundredths, and we have 3 and 60 hundredths right in the middle. Okay, so first of all, let's find the 3 and 60 hundredths, which is the same as 3 and 6 tenths. All right, so I see this one has a spot at that 3 and 6 tenths, or 3 and 60 hundredths, and so does this third one. I can eliminate the second one because it does not have a spot, it does not have a dot on that 3 and 60 hundredths. So I know it's not that one. So it's either the first one or the third one. Now I have to see which one has a dot at 3 and 53 hundredths. Well, we have the marks right here. Each one is 1 hundredth, 2 hundredths, 3 hundredths. So this would be like 351 hundredths, 352 hundredths, 353 hundredths, 354 hundredths, 355 hundredths, 356, 57, 58, 59, 360 hundredths. So I'm looking for 53. So it should be, if I go 51, 52, 53, it should be in this spot right here. But look, there's no dot in this one. But if I go to that third one, 51, 52, 53, it's right there. So that's what I'm going to click and select. I do's got it. And now I just want to choose, okay, which one's greater? 3 and 6 tenths or 3 and 53 hundredths? All right, well, if I look at the number line here, which is further along on the number line? Well, 3 and 60 hundredths is further on the number line than 3 and 53 tenths. Excuse me, 3 and 53 hundredths. So therefore, this first symbol I'm going to choose, I'm going to say 3 and 53 hundredths is less than 3 and 6 tenths. And now if we just flip it around, 3 and 6 tenths is greater than 3 and 53 hundredths. It's saying the same thing, it just flipped them around, and it wanted us to change the symbols. All right, now we're just going to compare the decimal numbers. I have 2 and 5 tenths and 2 and 5 hundredths. Now, you can figure this out multiple ways. You can say, hey, well, I know that which is greater, 5 tenths or 5 hundredths? Would you rather have 5 tenths of a candy bar or 5/100ths of a candy bar, well, you want to have the 5/10ths. You can also look at what we learned previously, where we just start from the left, work our way to the right. So I look at the whole number place. They both have a 10, or excuse me, they both have a 2 in the ones place. So we know we have to just move to the right. And now I'm going to look at the tenths place. I see there's a 5 in the tenths place there. And this number has a 0 in the tenths place. I can stop right there because this has a 5 in the tenths place. This has a 0 in the tenths place. I know then that 2 and 5/10ths is greater than 2 and 5/100ths. Good work. And now we have 2 and 3/10ths and 2 and 30/100ths. Well, we've been discussing this and we've been looking at this. 3/10ths is actually equal to 2 and 30/100ths. They're the same thing. 30/100ths is the same as 3/10ths. Same number, right? It's just smaller pieces, but you get an equal amount for the amount you give and the amount you take. So they are both equal because look, both have the same whole number, both have the same in the tenths place, and then technically they both have the same in the hundredths place because there's a 0 there, and even though it doesn't show it, there would be a 0. You don't have any hundredths. Nice. And we did it. And I love that we did it. I love it. I loved it. Awesome. So that's what we're doing today. We are comparing two fractions just like that.